Tonight on Joy News Prime, some customers of Gold Coast Management Fund will have to wait another 3 years to receive full payment of monies owed them as the company announces it has begun selling off its assets.
He is doing everything that he needs to do in terms of raising money. There are assets that we are selling or we will sell to make sure we can raise enough funding to pay.
We have details as the customers petition President Akufo-Addo to prosecute and freeze accounts of Dr. Pakwesi Indum.
When I went to Pakwesi Indum's Gold Coast Fund Management, I was told by the staff of the place that I should bring a proof that my mother is sick. How is that possible that I bring a proof that my mom is sick?
Also, houseflies hovering around salted beef, pig feet, wele, and other foodstuffs at the Tuesday market.
Madam, Mr. Ramo, the course of Hana here. Nasha baby, I'm going to Adrian to Sufom, no more tongue. Aye, then a course of one amnesty.
But we realize I mean, so good.
Stay tuned for what our cameras captured on day 7 of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign. Also in the bulletin, Unrelenting Association of Law Students continue to push for more reforms as they pile pressure on President Akufo-Addo to directly intervene in the professional law course admission impasse.
The petition is received. The petition itself will be duly presented to the President with the petition, and you can be rest assured that if there are any consequential steps that the President deems necessary, he will do so.
And in business,
President Akufo-Addo announces aviation-driven development plan to drive more development into Ghana's aviation sector.
my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Joy News Prime comes to you live from our studios at Kokomlemle in Accra on digital address GA09925539 on GoTV channel 144 and DSTV channel 421. Please stay with us. Thanks for choosing us. Let's begin with aggrieved customers of Gold Coast Management Fund who will have to wait another 3 years to be paid all their locked up funds. That is according to the General Manager in charge of Investor Relations at Group Indum, Benjamin Afre. He says Gold Coast Fund Management has started selling some of its assets to enable the company pay monies owed some of its aggrieved customers. Now, this follows a series of protests by the aggrieved customers. There was a massive protest in Accra Tuesday, and the group presented a petition to the office of the president demanding, among others, the immediate prosecution of chairman of Group Indum, Pakwesi Indum, who they say is complicit in the matter. My colleague PSN Anayao has more in this report read to you.
Some aggrieved customers of the Gold Coast Fund Management protesting over locked-up investments with the company. Hundreds of them dressed in red walked the principal streets of Accra with placards calling for the prosecution of Dr. Pakwesi Indum. They say all attempts to withdraw their deposits have proven futile.
When I went to Pakwesi Indum's Gold Coast Fund Management, I was told by the staff of the place that I should bring a proof that my mother is sick. How is that possible that I bring a proof that my mom is sick? Just when I was going, there was an old man who is there, said, prostate cancer.
To be honest with you, I'm speechless. I don't want to even talk.
A lot of our friends have died. And
have died?
Yes, a lot of friends have died. Some, if you hear the story, you will pity them. And we have all gathered around through one platform together to tell the people of Ghana that this is our cry. People should listen to us so that the government intervene and retrieve our money from Dr. Pakwesi Indum, because this is our, if this thing doesn't happen, a lot of us, there will be disaster, because a lot of us are in terrible situation. Most of us are sick, and most of us are in debt, and they have to retrieve this money to make sure that they settle this money.
Public Relations Officer of the aggrieved customers, Charles Nyame, has been outlining their demands as contained in the petition to President Akufo-Addo.
It needs to be sanctioned. Again, we are pleading with the government to establish an investigatory body through the state investigation agencies like the Yoko, police CID, and what have you, to investigate, trace wherever he sent our monies to, and recover same for us. We are also pleading with the government to confiscate the assets of Dr. Indum, the Gold Coast Fund Management and Group Indum Company, because we believe that Gold Coast Fund Management is the cash cow he used to build all his company. We are also reminding the president or the government that this is not our first petition. We have sent we've brought series of petitions to the presidency, of which we were expecting the president to address the issue. He hasn't been able to do that.
The first presented a petition to the Finance Minister was received by Abuna Osei-Asare, Deputy Finance Minister. They then continued to the Jubilee House. After almost an hour of back and forth, the aggrieved customers submitted their petition to the Minister of State and the Presidency, Dr. Kweku Efriye, who received it on behalf of the President. He promised to forward their grievances.
I will take it to the Chief of Staff, who received the President's letters. But one thing that I promise you, that the seriousness and the way apparently this thing is affecting your lives, I make a solemn promise that I will convey to my superiors. That much I can promise you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
PSCN Anaya Alsafos reports for Joy News.
Now here's General Manager in charge of Investor Relations at Group Indum, Benjamin Afre, saying the company has started selling some of its assets to enable them pay their customers. He spoke to Gifty Andwapia on the Pulse.
The company is doing everything that it needs to do in terms of raising money. There are assets that we are selling or we will sell to make sure we can raise enough funding to pay. There are investment swap arrangements that we are making as I talk to you, and we'll continue to do that. Whatever money we raise, I want to believe that we'll use it to pay these customers. So difficult and a long drawn out as it may be, I am positive that we'll be able to raise the needed funding to pay. Of course, it will not be within a day or within a year, but I want to believe certain people will be paid off within maybe this week. Others will be paid by next week, and it will continue until we take care of everybody's.
You said that it won't happen in a year, it won't happen in one day, but is there an idea how long this will take?
Like I said, I sincerely believe that it will take about 3 years to be able to unwind the entire portfolio. But should we be able to raise all the needed funding required, I'm sure it will be shorter than that. But on the minimum, I think at least about 3 years to resolve this.
But why is Dr.
The Attorney General, Gloria Akufo, has justified the state's decision to press charges against founder of Capital Bank, William Ato Essien, and 3 others, insisting crimes have been committed. Dr. Dominic Ayene, who is lawyer for businesswoman Kate Papafield, who has also been charged, has been questioning the state's case, describing it as strange. Joining us, Joseph Akable was in court as the 4 accused persons pleaded not guilty and were granted bail totaling 675 million cedis on Tuesday.
Attorney General Gloria Akufo on Tuesday presented the facts of the case to an Accra High Court presided over by Justice Eric Che Bafo. She told the court that liquidity support amounting to 620 million cedis handed by the Bank of Ghana to Revive Capital Bank was appropriated and transferred to various companies owned by Mr. Essien. Defense lawyer Dr. Dominic Ayene, however, says the case filed by the state is strange.
It is very, very clear that you cannot steal somebody's property with their consent. Even from a common sense point of view, it is impossible for you to accuse me of stealing when you have given me the property yourself, willingly and voluntarily. Of course, if I said things to you that represented fraudulent misrepresentations, in that case you can say that I have defrauded you. But where I have taken your property with your own consent, I cannot be accused of stealing.
AG Gloria Akufo, however, disagrees.
I will briefly say that the monies that were given to Capital Bank were given to Capital Bank, neither to SL, neither to Fitzgerald Odonko, neither to Nettie, neither to the lady accused person, Kwoti Papafio. The money, as the lawyers for the defense themselves said, was given to Capital Bank. Basic principle in law is that a company is a separate personality from the individuals. So if money is given to a bank, and mind you, for a specific purpose, and then individuals, be it that they have any interest in the bank, they are still separate and apart from the bank. If they use it differently, in the manner which is not consistent with the purpose for which the bank advanced the money, certainly there must be a problem.
She has revealed a special investigative team is looking into other collapsed banks.
The investigations are going on. What it is that for the sake of expedition, my office is very concerned that these matters be dealt with expeditiously because of the public interest, because these are monies of the state which has been advanced to the banks. And so a special investigative team dedicated to investigating the bank cases are working on them. And you can imagine it's not a simple stealing matter. You caught somebody with a goat, but we are talking about bank transactions over a period. You can imagine the number of documents that you have to review.
William Atu Essien, Dr. Tetenete, and Fitzgerald Donko were granted bail to the tune of 200 million cedis each. They are each to provide 4 sureties. Kate Kwoti Papafio was also granted bail to the tune of 75 million cedis.
Let's stick with legal issues because the National Association of Law Students is demanding President Akufo-Addo's direct intervention in the ongoing impasse on the professional law course admission. Recent entry examination conducted by the school saw only less than 10% admitted to undertake the course. Attempts by the association to present a petition to the president after a demonstration was met with police brutalities and arrest. At the Jubilee House Tuesday, President of the association, Jonathan Alua, urged the president to also look into fees charged by the school and other arrangements they find unacceptable.
It was very diplomatic. The impression the president had was that he didn't want to, step into the powers of the judiciary. But we are strongly of the opinion that the General Legal Council, in administering their mandate to regulate legal education, is doing the administrative job and is separate from the judiciary. And the law allows for the president to direct the General Legal Council through the Attorney General. And this is a matter of law. We're asking that the president intervenes because most of the issues, for instance, the exorbitant fee charge for remarking, the president sympathized with us. He asked that they reduce it. We went to Parliament. Parliament recommended that they reduce it from 3,000 cedis per paper to 500 cedis. And as we speak, some of my mates are paying as much as 9,000 cedis for 3 papers, 6,000 for 2, and 3,000 for 1. And this government has clearly demonstrated their resolve to make education affordable. And we don't understand why increasingly we keep drumming, the fact that remarking shouldn't, be hindered by financial constraints, but we have not been heard. On the other dimension, which is the entrance exam, which is what, ballooned all of this into a full-scale demo or peaceful march. 128 out of 1,820 students. We now have an association, National Association of Law Students, which is made up of the SRC of the Ghana School of Law and presidents of the various faculties of the law, about 14 of those faculties. For some time now, a lot of people have, been saying that we need to reform legal education. What we have in here is our comprehensive suggestion of the things that need to be done. For instance, we think that in the long term, we should be able to improvise and make the faculties of law, we should equip them with the capacity to run the professional law program. We all agree that quality shouldn't be compromised, but it's pointless to have people who have, passed the LLB program roaming the streets without access to professional legal education. And we think that the receiving mechanism should be more at the faculty and not at the professional level, because
Deputy Chief of Staff Abu Jinapo says government will look into the demands of the association.
The petition is received the content of it and the petition itself will be duly presented to the president to be brought to his attention. You quite rightly indicated that sometime at the beginning of this year, the president gave you audience and he listened to you. I had the privilege of sitting in that meeting and he had a very extensive conversation with you about your grievances. Thereafter, the president wrote to the Chief Justice and set out your concerns, and some of which he sympathized with you and thought that something should be done about. He did indicate so expressly. We will furnish him with the petition, and you can be rest assured that if there are any consequential steps that the president deems necessary, he will do so.
Let's get on to Skype and speak with Jonathan Alua, who is president of the National Association of Law Students. Good evening to you, Jonathan. Many thanks for your time.
Good evening and a very warm evening to your cherished listeners and viewers. So I'll start on a point of information. I am the SRC president of the Ghana School of Law and one of the governors of the National Association of Law Students.
Great. So you managed to make it to the presidency this time?
That's true. We were at the presidency today between the hours of 12 and 1. Yes, between the hours of 12 and 1.
And what was the nature of the meeting?
So it was a follow-up. You'd realize that our aim on the day we took to the streets to march was to present a petition to the first gentleman of the land. Now, the events that prevented us from sending our petition are, they are in the public domain and we all know what happened. And so this is a follow-up. We received an invitation from the Jubilee House to, come and present our petition. And so that's the reason that took us there. So we were met by the Deputy Chief of Staff who warmly received us. We explained our grievances and he gave us the assurance that this is a matter of priority for the government and they'll do their very best to put the situation to bed once and for all.
So we had the Deputy Chief of Staff saying that they will address your demands. Did he state specifically what exactly government will be doing to address the situation?
Well, as you know, it has become custom in the way that politics and governance is done in this country for us to follow some bureaucratic procedure. And so I think that he couldn't have committed, as the Deputy Chief of Staff to say A and B will be done. But he gave us the impression that the government will do something within the shortest possible time, because our concern was that we need results in the shortest possible time because most of the issues are sensitive and time-bound. And so we actually made them understand that we'll continue to press, we'll continue to, make an impression on them to deliver. And so whatever form it takes, we are really concerned about the reforms, and we are getting the indication that the reforms will come sometime soon.
But did he give you timelines?
That, again, he couldn't give, and you can understand why, because then he received the petition and he is going to have to forward it to the President of the Republic. But then we made him understand the urgency with which some of the matters should be dealt with. And so it's actually it's our obligation now to gauge their timelines and to know when to follow up and when to make the call, and find out what is being done. But we are hopeful that we won't have to do that anymore, because clearly we all know that these are present times.
We are aware of your demonstration that turned violent and the fact that you petitioned Shraj over the matter. Did you raise those issues with the Deputy Chief of Staff?
Well, the first thing, another point of information is that yesterday we all woke up to the news that we've petitioned Shraj. Actually, plans are far advanced. We are consulting and conferring, but we haven't petitioned Shraj yet. That didn't come up at the presidency because, as you would know, each institution of state has its functions. If we are concerned about getting reparation for the human rights abuses and violations that we suffered on that day, would have to go to the appropriate bodies, Shraj or the courts. And so the presidency, we went there because we believe that they can exercise executive powers in this one. And the human rights abuses didn't come up because clearly we know where to go if we want reparation for those matters.
Many thanks to you. Jonathan Alua is a member of the Association of Law Students who petitioned the president to intervene in the reforms they're seeking for the legal education. Now, let's talk about cleanliness, and we're asking what becomes of the adage cleanliness is next to godliness when you see your pastor mount his pulpit on a heap of rubbish to preach. Day 7 of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign was an education tour with a mixed bag of issues. Nancy Emefa-Jadosi has more on the flies hovering over fresh meat at the Tuesday market, preachers in filth, and fish on the dirty bare floor.
From the outside, the Tuesday market appears to be clean, but the sanitation situation inside was far from that. Inspector Asitanga was shocked to see these traders selling okra, crabs and other food items just in front of this heap of garbage. He assembled all of them.
Can you people drive the women all to come here, or I will come and stop you from selling? No. Na baby amodi edwane ne to so from na mo ton. Aye. Me pacho no amuni asembia kasesesi asama mo ba kan se me pese mo sisa we nyina emfiri ha nyina kosi no ho ano mo na mo ton wa ha from the container there no eba ha nyina na ma yim nyina na ma sisa ne nyina me ma mo won ye be sa ba ha o ye ba na ma ye pe obi anton ade ye dey pick up baba bibia ye be sisa wa ha ko yo.
While Inspector Asitanga was engaging the women, a preacher and his singers were also holding a mini church service. Asitanga marched there.
This is noise pollution, serious noise nuisance. Okay, the market is a place for transaction and trade. We don't create the market for you to come and create a church within the market center. And the noise you are making here alone, you can see that you are disturbing the sound of everybody who is around here. The market centers now, we cannot allow you people to convert the market centers to churches. And that is what you people are doing now. If you look at the noise, we are far away there. You can imagine the noise that you were generating from here. Do you know that it's a nuisance? It's contrary to AMA bylaws. Do you know that? We have a law who will prosecute you.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah,
okay, so from today, we are giving you warning from today. Don't come to operate your church here with this noise. If you want to operate, come to the AMA office. We will guide you the noise level you have to operate under. And if we accept, we can come and allow you to do what you are doing here. But if you don't come and regulate, so that we regulate you, we'll come and seize your speakers.
He also charged them to do one thing.
So before you come to start anything, ask the market woman, has everybody sweep and clean where you are sitting down? Then you tell them AMA is coming for you.
One thing that was evident from this market was how beef was at the mercy of houseflies.
Blue flies,
one by one, he educated them on how to go about their businesses. At the kebab joint, this young man's sole responsibility is to ward off flies by fanning the raw meat.
Selling the meat. Have you seen how the flies are hovering over the meat? Look at the meat there all over. Is it not flies?
I come from abattoir.
You come from where?
Abattoir.
I don't have a problem with it coming from abattoir. If you bring the meat from abattoir, you have to get a sieve. Glass sieve. Display your meat inside the glass sieve. Why is the woman fanning it? About the what? About which one? Flies. Yes. So if it was in the sieve, will you be fanning it?
Now meet Madame Laurentia, the only beef seller who had displayed her meat in a glassware.
So you have done very well. No, very good. You have done very well. Okay. So, Madame.
Another disturbing observation is traders displaying their goods on the bare floor, from onions to cassava dough to even fish.
All this, they will turn this back to the market. Me and you will come and buy and go and cook.
From there, the team went to this corn mill. The entire place looked like an abandoned facility, dirt everywhere.
But look at here, who's supposed to clean? The person bring them. No, at the first, you got clean. But that's we are working. That's where if I close, I'll do anything. No, it's not about if you close. The whole thing has been there for long. You have to cement the place and floor the place. Look at the floor. It was cemented, yeah. That's and the stone is here. It's mixed with the soil, sand, and you are milling it with that. You are milling it like that. We can't allow this. I'm closing the place. It's not about you begging me. But the place is not up to standard for you to operate. Hygienically, it's not good.
But just 100 meters away from this was another mill, tiled, painted, simply clean. Cleanliness, they say, is next to godliness. But here, we meet a preacher with his pulpit on a heap of rubbish.
We are not even allowed to operate the church activity as the noise you are generating here. It's not allowed. It's against our AMA bylaw in the first place. You don't even have permit to operate what you are doing here. So, and coming to side your equipment under this refuse. So the consideration we are giving you is to collect the refuse and then you continue.
I need a refuse collector also to do it.
He immediately took the microphone and pleaded with the traders to clear the filth. But the women were adamant. Inspector Asitanga went one more time.
For now, no preaching, collecting the baller and continue your preaching.
The women got to work, clearing all the rubbish. Day 7, it was successful. If you live in Ayawaso North, watch out. We might be in your area soon.
The Joy Glean Ghana campaign will now be out and about twice a week. What has necessitated this move? Public Relations Officer of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Gilbert Ankara, joins us via Skype. Good evening to you, Gilbert. For 7 weeks, you have had to effect the arrest, fine and prosecute some sanitation offenders in the capital. How would you grade the work done so far?
So far, so good. And for us as an assembly, as we've always been saying, we are quite happy that this time around Joy is partnering us to ensure that the cameras follow us for us to be able to name and shame, because it's about time people, we name them and shame them, because if they come and then they see some of these things, at least we are seeing some impact. People are changing as a result of the cameras following us. So for us, we are quite happy. So far, so good.
How many people have you fined so far? How many people have you prosecuted?
So far, from the whole exercise, if we're looking at what we've done so far, prosecutions, we've prosecuted about 2 persons so far. And if we look at the kind of fines they have paid, it's quite happy for us, because we are seeing some level of improvement. And we are not stopping whatever we are doing, as we've always been saying. The enforcement exercise will go on, because we are looking at provision of education, enforcement of the law, and then the provision of logistics to be able to deal with this sanitation situation.
So where's your next stop? Where are you adding one more day?
The next day will be on Thursday, and for Thursday we are looking at not the AMA's jurisdiction this time around. We are moving to another area, and we are looking at somewhere within the Ayawa, so it could be west, it could be north, anywhere, but we're moving to a next jurisdiction outside the AMA's jurisdiction. And it's important to note that this exercise is not limited to AMA's jurisdiction. It's an Accra-wide, all MCEs within the Greater Accra Metropolitan area are fight supporting whatever the assembly is doing. So we are moving to all areas. It's not limited to our EMA.
We're grateful for your time. Gilbert Ankara is Public Relations Officer of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. And it's Breast Cancer Month, October, and we're helping to reduce the risk of breast cancer. Here are some tips that can help reduce the risk of cancer. Take a little or no alcohol. Alcohol use is associated with an increased risk development of breast cancer. Women should limit the intake of alcohol to not more than 1 drink per day. If you do not drink, do not feel the need to begin. If you drink more, kindly cut it down or possibly quit drinking. Also, do not smoke, because smokers and non-smokers alike know how unhealthy smoking is. On top of lowering the quality of life and increasing the risk of heart diseases, women who smoke are at a higher risk of suffering from breast cancer and therefore would have to avoid or quit their habits in order to lower the risk of development and also stay safe. Find out about your family history. It is very important for women to know their family history in order to be able to take special steps to themselves. Avoid exposure to radiation and environmental pollution. Medical imaging methods such as computerized tomography use high doses of radiation. Research suggests a link between breast cancer and cumulative exposure to radiation over your lifetime. Reduce your exposure by having such tests only when absolutely necessary. It's a breast cancer month. Remember to go for some screening. Let's get down to other stories, because Ghana and other African countries have been encouraged to prioritize domestic mobilization of resources to help tackle the HIV/AIDS pandemic rather than relying on donor support. According to health experts, the decline in donor funding means that African countries must look for innovative ways of generating sustainable revenue on the domestic front for HIV/AIDS financing. Speaking during a meeting for validation of a draft scorecard report on HIV financing in Africa Tuesday, Director for the International Conference on AIDS and STIs in Africa, Luke Armand Bodea, says this is possible. Civil society organizations must advocate strongly to get governments to commit resources for fighting the disease.
This workshop that you are saying is very important, calling most of our government and our philanthropists all over Africa, to start thinking about domestic funding to end HIV/AIDS in Africa. As you know, we just finished with the Global Fund. It's true that the target was $16 billion, but we reached up to 14, but it's not enough. Outside of that, we still have a gap of 20%. And it's good that it's time that, as the executive director of UNAIDS, Dr. Patrick Benny said, it's very important that if you are sleeping in the mat, you have to make sure that the mat belongs to you. But so far, we are running on donor support. We need to start thinking how Africa can take ownership of this response, and end it in 2030, because the program and the plan for UNAIDS is to finish HIV by 2030, to end it. Then if you want to end it, we need to own it. And to own it mean that we need to domestically fund it.
Some lie on the floor with bellies, others sit on bare floor and sometimes in flooded classrooms to read and write. Those are just few of the struggles pupils of the St. Francis of Assisi Basic School have to endure daily in a bid to access education in Aguna Ahanta, the capital of the Ahanta West Municipality of the Western region. Pupils and teachers have expressed fear and worry over the poor state of their school, which they say is affecting them academically. Joy News' Henry Kwesibedu visited the school and has more in the following report.
It is 11 a.m. at the St. Francis of Assisi Basic School in the Ahanta West Municipality of the Western region. For 10 years, structures raised to serve as permanent classrooms have part of their roofs damaged, resulting in severe leakage anytime it rains. In Class 3, pupils are on the bare floor. Sometimes, when they are tired of sitting, they lie on the floor. There are just a few desks in the school. As if this is not enough, the heavens suddenly opened. The rains mean these children cannot study again. This is because the classrooms and sheds here will not withstand its ravaging force. Pupils and teachers look on very worried and helpless. They move the few desks, gather at the corner in the next classroom, waiting for the rain to subside. It's been raining for an hour and classrooms here are flooded. Dozie Joel is a Class 5 pupil here.
Last week, when the rain rains, we don't have chance to learn. So the teacher always let us to stop learning and take our brooms to sweep the water, and the water will go out. Some of them too, they will bring the board, and the board too will be white. So we want government to help us to build another school for us, and we will not be struggling how we are struggling with this one.
Gladys Ajiman Boatin is a JHS3 pupil, and she's clearly worried.
Last week, because it is raining, we did not get time to learn. And this week too, we are trying to cover the subjects, the topics we must learn for some subjects. But this week still it is raining, so we don't get time to learn. And even today it's rain, so we didn't get time to learn. We are afraid every day because when it rains, other schools are learning to approach with the BC, but we don't learn, we don't get that time to learn. So we are very afraid that maybe if we go to the BC, maybe we'll perform well, but the grade and the mark that we want to achieve it, we can't achieve it.
Teachers say the only motivation keeping them at the school is their passion for the job. Eric Kwesiando Jr. is a teacher.
So when it rains, classes stop. And thank God when you came, you saw it yourself. So as a teacher, and I have my will to go and transfer. And so I've told the headmaster, my colleagues are here in Agona Kwanta enjoying better facilities. And if I am also in the same vicinity and I'm in this data, brother, what is preventing me from going on transfer? Okay. For me, it's not easy. It's not easy. Just that we have the passion for the work. That's why we are here. But it's not easy.
According to Headmaster Nana Awatwe, several appeals over the years to relevant authorities to remedy the situation have not yielded any positive results.
Every year we have what is called MIS, School Annual Census, and we are supposed to list all items in the school, books, teachers, number of children, desk, tables, classrooms, and in all this, for the past almost 8 years, this document will show that I state that the school is grappling with a classroom. We need classrooms because most of the classrooms are temporarily made. And we also tried writing letters around to help support. This one is from GASEM. We wrote to GASEM Foundation for even support. We couldn't. And we took some pictures. You can also see the pictures here. Yeah, so these are what we have tried, the few that we have done to seek help, but all proved futile.
How long can these pupils continue to endure the pain and distress of sitting in flooded classrooms? The pupils of St. Francis of Assisi Basic School may just be racing against time. Henry Kwesibedu's report for Joy News.
Residents of Bawe Bulemli in the Gan West Municipal Assembly are excited some work has begun to fix the deplorable roads in the area. The residents in July this year told Joy News the nature of the roads is adversely affecting their health and economic activities. Gilbert Ankara returned to the community and reports residents are cautiously optimistic. Here is his report read to you.
The Bawe Bulemli Road was bumpy and muddy when I first visited in July this year. In the middle of the road was a broken down vehicle which has been abandoned. For many residents, it is common for vehicles to break down here. A father recounted that he nearly lost his 5-year-old son due to the deplorable nature of the road.
I regret relocating here. My child fell ill in the middle of the night, and if not for the benevolence of a stranger, he would have died. There was no car to get him to the hospital due to the bad roads.
But today, the story is different. Contractors have started working on the road. Though some residents are happy, they have some reservations.
We are having the assurance that they will complete the project on time. We are begging them to do a good job because the rains are always a problem for us.
The drain you are seeing here, I heard they will not extend it. Their failure to do so will render the entire project useless.
Through the main one, because useless.
Assembly member of the area, Robert Stego, assured the community their concerns will be addressed. He was, however, grateful to Joy News for highlighting their concerns.
Yes, when you came, you told me that the taxi drivers were saying that because of the nature of the road, I've moved from this place. But today you can see, I've told you that the road will be fixed. And as you can see, the road is ongoing. So latest by next month, I mean, you see a quota. Yeah, so I want to thank Joy News for giving me this coverage. Thank you very much. They confronted me. I've spoken with the urban roads engineer for the municipality, and he has assured that he will talk to the contractors if they could just extend the project so that it will get to those areas.
Site engineer Henry Ahinakwa further assured the project will be completed as scheduled.
They've spoken to us about it, and personally with my boss, this very drain you are seeing here, we're going to connect it to the one coming from the top. So we're going to create a chamber to the other junction which is there. So definitely we are not leaving the drains like this. We are going to connect everything. It's 1 month. 1 month. Within a range of 1 month, we're going to be done with the project.
For Joy News, Gilbert Ankara's report.
Suspected drug addicts have taken over 6 pedestrian underpasses at the Sofo Line interchange in Kumasi. This forces pedestrians to cross the road at unauthorized places, risking their lives. Nanaya Ojima takes us on a trip to the project site, now a criminal hideout. Funding shortfalls has kept work uncompleted for over a decade.
A young man is remanded into prison custody for allegedly raping a teenager who attempted to use the tunnel. Robbery of unsuspecting users of the underground bypass is a common occurrence, as reported by police at Sontreso. We found auto sprayer Akwesi Owusu taking a nap in what he finds cozy but poorly lit tunnel.
I am an auto sprayer. I come here to take a nap whenever business is slow. At night, I sleep in the fitting shop. The other people who come here have gone to find food.
Akwesi relocated here from Apa in the Ashanti region to pitch camp here. Police have picked him up a couple of times in swoops to rid the area of criminals. He admits to using drugs but denies the people who use the tunnel for shelter are criminals.
We don't do drugs in the tunnel. We do them in the bush. I do smoke and use tramadol too. But we are not thieves. The police sometimes arrest us, but after investigations, we are freed.
All 6 tunnels are not in use, except one fixed for pedestrians, in order to reduce knockdown at the Prempeh College and Basic School end of the interchange. Decorated with pictures of past presidents and Ashanti traditional symbols, it is preferred by many. Kofi Boateng uses the tunnel frequently for convenience. He is excited about installation of security cameras and deployment of security men within the structure. For 2 months, I've been using this place, and it's safe. We thank them for this. Our children can now go to school safely. Despite financial challenges due to government indebtedness, contractors had to fix this strategic tunnel for safety, especially of students. However, many people feel unsafe to use it and will rather risk their lives to cross dangerously on the busy road. Kwabna Ejay is one of them.
Some of us are very stubborn, and I'm one of them. I should have used a tunnel, but I didn't. If a vehicle should knock me down, that is my own doing. We must educate our friends to use the tunnel instead.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, is advising Ghanaians to eat more healthy diets as it steps up efforts to promote a hunger-free society by the year 2030. Though the UN has been making significant progress to end hunger, quality of food has been identified as a major challenge. Ahead of World Food Day, which is marked annually on October 16, the UN body has been interacting with students, journalists, and the general public at a forum in Accra. There's more in this report by Michaelina Dankwa.
Speaking to Joy News on the sidelines of the event, FAO Assistant Director General and Regional Representative for Africa, Abebe Hill Gabriel, said Ghana performed well with the Zero Hunger Initiative. He, however, expressed concern that obesity is on the rise in the country.
You see, one of the problems of depending on imported food is we do not know how that food has been prepared. And these are in many countries, in particular in island countries, small island states that depend on imported food, the obesity and overweight has been on the rise. In urban areas in Ghana, obesity is on the rise. Ghana is one of the countries where this problem is fast coming. So we want to campaign. We want to involve, as you have seen, we have lots of school children in the room. Some of them, they are the ones who are talking. For them to be aware of this risk, we decide, each one of us decide the kind of food we want to eat. So food, all food is not food. We're talking about healthy food. And it's up to us as consumers, as farmers, as producers, as business people, governments, to contribute to make sure that what people are eating is healthy and nutritious food. So this is what we are trying to promote.
Head of the University of Ghana's Nutrition Department, Dr. Frederick Vuvo, attributed wrong food choice, poor cooking methods and poor methods of storage as some reasons why people suffer from deficiencies. He also urged the public to adopt the practice of eating fruits instead of drinking fruit juices.
The food we have, how we process it, how we store it, how we eat it, how we do it. Even eating food habit is no more a bigger problem than eating habit. How do you eat the food? Frequency and amount at a time. It's more important than don't eat A, don't eat B, don't eat C. Do you see? So that one needs to be known. Fruit is good, but fruit juice is not.
9-year-old Cleo Asha, who is an ambassador of the Sustainable Development Goals, urged the public to eat healthy, and here is her reason.
Eat well, feel well. World Food Day ensures that everyone has food and eats a healthy diet in order to prevent hunger and malnutrition across the globe. World Food Day also helps to make healthy diets affordable for everyone. Zero Hunger doesn't only talk about giving food to the hungry, but also talks about our planet, so that people can get fresh, natural foods.
DJ Switch.
And that will be it for the bulletin tonight. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. You can log on to my Joy Online for more news and details of the developing stories. Enjoy the rest of our programs.